Well, welcome back, folks. Today we're going to talk about lubricants and oils. I recently was working through adding all the various fluids to the Yamaha YL1 project, and it occurred to me that folks might have some interest in the oils and lubricants that I use. Now, let me preface this conversation with 2 points. The first is, discussing oils and lubricants with many people is a lot like trying to have a conversation around religion and politics. People tend to have a lot of passion around their choices of lubricants and oils, and I'm not here to try to convince anyone of anything. If you have choices for your projects that's different than mine, more power to you. I'm simply sharing information with you today. I'm not trying to influence or convince anyone to change their thinking on their lubricants and oils of choice. The second point I'd like to make is I'm very confident that the lubricants available today from the major name brand manufacturers, and all of these brands you see lined up here are name brands, are vastly superior to anything that was available back in the 1960s and 70s. I'm very confident that if you were to go out and purchase any quality name brand lubricant today, even if it's certainly different than what I choose to use, you're going to be in very good shape. These just happen to be the products of my choice that I've used in all cases for many years. And I just thought I'd walk you through each of them a bit here to share with you my thinking. Let's first talk about two-stroke oil. And the context of this conversation is a two-stroke engine. I'm not going to get into four-stroke oils at this point. Generally for my daily use, that is products or equipment rather that I use on a regular basis, I use a 100% synthetic two-stroke oil. And my brand of choice is AMSOIL. As you can see, I tend to buy it in bulk. I've had this is a 1 US gallon, almost 4 liters. I've had this gallon for some time, and I've had excellent service from AMSOIL. This happens to be the Interceptor, which is, I believe, their day-to-day oil. It's not a high-performance oil like for racing purposes, but it serves me very well. You can pre-mix it, you can use it in injection systems. I use this oil in all of my two-stroke equipment. I have, 3 string trimmers. I have a chainsaw, a leaf blower, 2 hedge trimmers, a brush cutter, and of course numerous two-stroke motorcycles. And all of them that are used on a regular basis, I use this product in. And I've never had a failure with AMSOIL. It's minimal smoke. It's not as readily available, in my area at least, as some other products. But it's always served me very well. And in fact, we even used it in snowmobiles many years ago, even though I'm not in the snowmobiles anymore. Great product. The other engine oil that I use is Yamaha Lube 2S. This is, I believe, a semi-synthetic oil marketed by Yamaha. I don't believe they make it. I think it's made by Castrol or someone like that. At least in North America, it's made in the U.S. I don't know about anywhere else where it's available. Great product. I use this typically when I start new products. This is what it will be used in the YL1, for instance, both in the oil injection system and in the premix. I will be starting the YL1 with until I'm confident the oil pump is working the way it should. Again, never had any issues with it. You'd be perfectly fine using this every day in everyday service, either it's a premix or an injection system. And as I shared with the AMSOIL, I have never had a known failure with Yamaha Lube. I think it's a great product, and I highly recommend it. And these are my 2 go-to products for two-stroke engine lubrication. Let's talk a little bit about transmissions. Most transmissions, two-stroke transmissions again, from back in the day, usually called for a 30 weight or a 10W30 motor oil be used in their transmissions. Now remember, the transmission on a two-stroke is a separate cavity actually from the combustion chamber. So there's two different oils, of course, you would use. This for lubrication of the engine itself, this for the transmission. I have been using Bel-Ray products for, again, a long, long time. I have settled on this Gear Saver Bel-Ray 80W. Don't let the number 80 throw you. If you're thinking, wow, that's got to be like molasses, really thick. It's not. It's a very, you can see it there probably, how thin it is. The scale for hydraulic lubricants, and that's what this is, the SAE, Society of Automotive Engineers scale, is different than for motor oil. So a 10W30 motor oil, that scale is different than is used for gear lube. I don't know exactly without looking it up, but I'm going to guess an 80W, and a W stands, I believe, for winter, in this case, just like it does on engine oils, meaning it will maintain its viscosity in cold weather. This oil is I believe, around probably a 30 to 40 weight motor oil, something like that. Nonetheless, I've had excellent service with this in all of my two-stroke transmissions. My Kawasaki H2 Triple uses it, my G5 100, TS185, my F11 250 Kawasaki. I've got quite a few other bikes too. All use the same oil. In fact, I just went, excuse me, and bought a fresh quart here because I'm getting low on it. Usually keep a quart or two of this around. And it's designed, if you read the label on the back, it's designed for wet clutches. You can see I bought this February of 17. I always label my products when I buy them so I know approximately how old they are. And I keep them in an enclosed cabinet. Wet clutches, I've never had any kind of problem with using a Bel-Ray transmission oil in my two-strokes. Four strokes that have wet sumps, which many of the Japanese bikes have wet sumps with a couple of exceptions, such as the Honda 750, original Honda 750 single overhead cam has a dry sump. Share the engine oil with the transmission, unlike a two-stroke. But great product. I've had great service from it, and this is readily available almost any motorcycle dealer. Let's talk about fork oil. Again, I use Bel-Ray fork oil. I know there are other oils that can be used for forks. In fact, on the YL1 does recommend a 10W30 motor oil for the forks. This is what I put in the YL1. This, again, it's a 10W. Let me show you here what it looks like. It's green. You can see how relatively thin it is. Again, a different viscosity table than a standard motor oil. Great product. You can get this in different weights. You can get, I think, 5W, 10W, 15W, 20W. I just used 10 across the board for my products. And again, I'm not racing or competitive, so this has worked really well. Bel-Ray brand, again, readily available. I know that folks can use transmission oil, automobile transmission oil, and other lubricants in their front shocks, and I'm sure that's fine. I've just always had really good luck with this particular product. And let's talk very briefly about mixing. I have discussed this, I think it's called a ratio rate. I don't know if you can see that right there. It's called ratio rate, R-I-T-E. Little mixing container here, and it's got all kinds of, it's got pints, and it's got cc's and ounces, and on the back it's got other nomenclature here as well. This is what I usually use if I'm going to do premix. I'll use this ratio rate, and again, I talked about this in a video way back when, a number of years ago. I did discuss this on one of my videos. And I also have this little shot glass. It's called Mini Measure. I think I bought this at a flea market where they have the table set up and people are selling tools and bungee cords and, you know, Asian import tools and that kind of thing. And I bought this. And the reason I use this is I'm doing small measures. It's a little easier to read. You can see it's got teaspoons, tablespoons, ounces, and millimeters right there. And if I'm only going to do like a quart of premix, for instance, like I would use for the Yamaha Wild 1, I'm not going to mix a whole gallon because I won't ever use it. I'll mix a quart or two, and I will use, rather than use this container to try to, because it's really not designed for that small volume, I will use the shot glass to measure the oil. Since on the Wild 1 I'll be mixing 32:1, I believe, in the fuel, this will work. It works really nice for mixing in that situation. So there are the products that I use, how I mix it, the various oils. Again, your mileage may vary. You might have a different opinion, and that's your business, not mine. I'm not going to try to convince you of something different. If it works for you, then that's your own business to deal with. Any issues, thoughts, questions, drop me a note. Otherwise, as usual, thanks for watching.